guys, so now we're going to put into play our markup scale. So let's say a customer rolls in and has a wheel seal leaking, and it's one of your regular fleet customers. So now you got to purchase the parts to fix this job, but you need to know how much you're going to charge that customer in order for you to make your profit. So let's start with the parts that we're going to need. So we know that this wheel seal, automatically we're going to need a wheel seal, we're going to need a hubcap gasket, and we're going to need 2 pints of hub oil. And of course, we're going to need brake clean in order to be able to clean up everything. And if you guys aren't charging all this on a wheel seal, you guys need to, because this is important that you charge everything that you purchase in order to get the job done. Now, you can also put brake clean under shop supplies if you like. I actually like to keep it separate and charge it as a separate charge as a part. And shop supplies, normally I charge a 20% over the ticket overall. But we'll go over shop supplies and how to properly invoice in another video. Today we're just going to discuss how to properly mark up parts. So wheel seals. Let's say you went to the parts house and you paid $32 for a wheel seal. Hubcap gasket, you paid $2.50. Hub oil, you paid $4.50. Brake clean, you paid $2.50 as well. Alright, so now we got to know how much we're going to mark these parts up. So now we're going to revert back to our scale. So let's say $32 is what we purchased this part for. So that falls into our 25 to 150 range. So we're going to mark this part up 75%. How do we do that? If you don't have a software that does it for you, you can do it yourself with a handy dandy calculator. So let's say $32 times 0.75, because remember, percents are always in decimal form when you put them in a calculator. That gives us $24 profit. So $24 is how much we're going to charge above what we paid for. So now we're going to add our profit, what we're going to charge, and our cost. So $24 plus $32, because that's what we pay for that wheel seal. $56 is how much we're going to sell it for. So we got our sell price, $56. Bam. That's how much we're selling this part for. That's how you make money off of your parts. So now, go back to our calculator. Let's see. Okay, so our margin. What is our profit margin on this? Margin is always a percent. You can see how much profit margin you're making. And it's basically, it takes this profit and it's going to turn it into a percent. So basically what we do is we take the profit and we divide it by how much we're selling the part for. So we take our markup profit to our sell price. Okay, so $24 is how much we're marking the part up, and divide that by how much we're selling it for, which is $56. So that equals 0.428, and then 57, blah, 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 blah. So 42%, but since it's an 8, we're going to round it up to 43%. So our margin is 43%. Okay, which is a good profit margin to have. So now your hubcap gasket, so $2.50. Well, it falls in the range of between $1 and $10. And the markup on that is 125%. So we're going to mark this bad boy 125%. So in order to do that, we go back to our handy dandy calculator and we say we pay $2.50 for this, but we're going to multiply it by 1.25, which is going to be $3.12 on top of what we paid for it. So $3.12 plus $2.50, which is going to be $5.62, which is how much we're going to sell that hubcap gasket for. $5.62. Now, if you notice that the markup percentages are higher whenever the parts are smaller or lesser priced, and that's because you can always charge. Whenever you do the calculations, it's actually going to be less and less of a percentage whenever you calculate these smaller parts. It's just why you have a higher percentage. Now, if you notice, the 5,000 and above has a 25%. I mean, you can only charge so much when it comes to these larger quantity parts, so that's why the markups are lower. So it's kind of the opposite. Markups go higher when the cost is less. Markups go lower when the cost is more. Okay, so let's get back to our hubcap gasket. All right, so hubcap gasket was $5.62, right? So I forgot to put our profit. Our profit was $3.12. $3.12 here. Okay, so what is our margin? So we know we're going to charge $3.12 on top of the $2.50 that we paid for that hubcap gasket, which equals $5.62. So our margin is going to be that price that we marked it up, or price that we're marking up to $3.12, the profit, times the sell price, which is $5.62. So, oh, whoops, wrong one. Okay. So we're going to take the profit, which is going to be $3.12, and we're going to divide it by our sell price, which is $5.62, which equals 55%. So 55%. So we're making 55% margin on this. Okay, so now let's go do our hub oil. So our hub oil is going to be $4.50. So that's going to fall within our $1 to $10 range. So it's going to be 125% for that as well. So $4.50 times 1.25 equals $5.62. So 25, 5.62 is our profit. So what does that mean we're going to sell that hub oil for? See, 562 plus the price we paid for it, which is $4.50. $10.12 is how much we're charging. Okay, so what does that make our profit margin? So our profit margin is our profit divided by our sell price. So we're going to do our profit, which was $5.62, divide that by $10.12. So there, 55% is our profit again, profit margin. Okay, so now our brake clean. Brake clean is $2.50, basically 125%. You can just copy this right here. We know it's going to be $3.12. You know our margin is going to be 55%, and $5.62 is going to be what we're going to be charging because it's the same exact price. So it can get redundant, but at least you know what you're charging now. Okay, so the total cost that you bought these parts for was for $41.50. The total that you're charging is $77.36 for the parts. So now you made a profit of $35.86, which is awesome. That's what you need to know what you're making. You need to know how much you're making off of your parts. It's very important. So this is just parts. There's no labor, there's no shop supplies, none of that. That'll be covered in another video where we'll go over how to properly invoice, how to properly do shop supplies, and how to properly put verbiage on an invoice so your customer doesn't come back arguing with you about replacing something for whatever time that you placed on there. So this is how you do a markup scale. If you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like and a comment below. Please tell me if there's something that you guys want to see, anything particular when it comes to running a shop or doing any type of particular financial items with the shop. Just let me know. If in terms of management strategies, I'm up for any of that. All right, guys. Thanks and have a great day.